Hey there, my friends, family, and ranch files. Doc Pierce here, and I haven't checked in for a while, so thought I'd just check in, let you know we're still alive and kicking in beautiful Dodge, Oklahoma. I got tired of raking, so I thought instead I'd make a video of the high tunnel. What's going on here? Well, I'm standing right here. I don't know if the squash are going to have enough time to make a second crop. Only 5 out of the 10 I planted made it through the bug assault. The rest were chopped off in their prime of life. See that one? Yep, that's what happens to them. Bugs just come and top them and then they're dead. We'll see. It's got about 4 weeks until the first frost, roughly. We'll see. I hope we'll get some. That'd be nice. Volunteer tomato plants doing better than any of them probably. Volunteer jalapeno from last year. Unfortunately, the dogs came through here, and I think they were just running around in here and knocked a bunch of the pepper plants over, which is kind of nasty. Hobby, what were you chasing? Because I was just doing my job. There's probably a mouse or something in here, or a frog, or who knows what. And I don't know about this. These are onions, and the reason I built this was to see if I could create onion starts. You know, the little tiny onions that you replant in the spring. Instead of planting from seed. But I don't know in the next 4 weeks or so if they'll have enough time to get to the size I need them to get. I need them to be about the size of a nickel, or maybe even a dime. But they have to be big enough that I can dry them out, and then there's a local feed store that says, hey, if you can grow them, we'll sell them. So I thought it's an experiment. If it works, we'll do it again next year. But I might have started too late. It's one of my projects that I just got behind in. So the bell peppers are all doing really well. Got a couple cherry trees, con trees. That's a kumquat tree. It's going to have to go in after before first frost. These are the cherry trees. They're doing pretty well. They need to get into the ground. They've really outgrown these pots, and their roots are growing through them. These are all the blueberries that I still have to get in the ground. There's just not enough energy for me to get all this stuff done. I need a cloning machine. What I've been raking, I said I was tired of raking, is the last few days I've spent trimming off all these tomato plants. I'll show you what it looks like. So you can see this is all the trimmings, all the dead wood more or less, all the unhealthy leaves and stems and all the stuff that's not going to make it. And I'm hoping that this will give all the tomato plants kind of a kick in the butt, and we'll get one more push before the end of the season. So I'll show you what I mean. You can see on this plant right here, this is a leaf that I would cut off. So it's not doing any good. It's dying. It's just on the plant. So I would take my trimmer, trim it off, and then this goes into the pile on the ground. And you can see there's a ton of them. So it's quite a big job to pull all this dead stuff off. There's another one right there. You can see how it's diseased. So that would just come off. And that leaves all the healthy ends and stuff. And I think it takes the drain off them. They're still producing blossoms, flowers. See, there's a dead one. That one would come off. And then you can see right behind it, right here, that's a new shoot that could potentially grow some more fruit. So going through all these plants and doing all that trimming is a pretty big job. I just broke it down to a little bit every day for a week or so. But I don't like to leave all this dead material laying on the ground. It's just, a safe haven for bugs and mold and fungus and all kinds of diseases. So what I'm doing right now is just raking them all out. And this is one of the piles. Another pile over there, and there's another pile on the other end. The hydroponics, well, they're not doing badly. They're starting to make a second flush in the fall here. The end of summer, they kind of died back a little bit. I lost, a handful of them. I've been replanting them. So I try to train train the runners to come down and start in a new cup. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think this hydroponics system might just be a haven for mosquitoes. In the evening, I can't even come out here. The mosquitoes are so thick and they just drill you. Here's the pepper plants, sweet peppers again, bell peppers. And like I said, I'm going to blame it on the dogs. They've come through and run through here, knocked a bunch of them over. I've got to figure out a better way to prop up peppers next year, some sort of a cage system. Something that's easy, cheap, and effective. If anybody has any suggestions, please send me a note, let me know. Here is the propagation mister. And so far it seems to be working. It's set up on a timer right over there. And it's a special timer that'll run down to just seconds. So this runs for about 15 seconds every 40 minutes or so is what I've got it set to right now. The nozzles I'm using, these spray nozzles right here, are really putting out too much water. So if anything, it's a little over wet, but it's kind of the best I can do right now. There's a better setup where you run PVC pipe stands and it's more efficient. But this is an experiment. If it works here, I'll adjust it next year. These are all blueberries, by the way. Thanks to my friend and neighbor, Rebecca. I traded her some hard manual labor for some cuttings. And most of them are doing pretty well. I've pulled out maybe half a dozen that I knew were already dying. The stick just turns black, so you know that they didn't take. So you can see, I'll show you one. See that one? Where is it there? I don't know if you can see it or not. But you'll see the stick either die from the top or the bottom. There's a big black one right there, that black stick. Those are dead. Those are goners. The ones that are totally green, those are the ones that are hopefully going to make it. So if even 20% of these live, that would be a major win for me. You can see the tomatoes are still producing. I've got to come through and pull these off. These just ripened since yesterday. And, oops, there we go. You want to pick them probably even when they're a little bit greener than this. If you leave them on here too long, these bugs will just chew into them. So that's probably a little too green. I'd let that go a little longer, another day. See over here, pineapples are still doing fantastic. We'll see how they overwinter. I've got to figure out how to do that. I'm sure they need light during the winter, so I'll have to rig something up in front of my one window that gets sun. Or maybe I can put them in the front entryway. That's an idea. But I'm going to try to overwinter these and get them going again next year. Asparagus, it's living. It made it so far. I've got 4 little plants here, and I've got to set up an asparagus patch where they'll just grow as perennials. One more thing to do. This is ginger, and the ginger's done really well. I don't think that'll make it through the winter. That'll probably have to go inside also. Let's see here, strawberry troughs. Strawberries are healthy. No strawberries though, just plants. And I don't know if anybody knows what type of mushroom this is. But boy, these keep coming up. If they're psilocybin, I could really take a trip, and if they're poisonous, I could really take a bigger trip to heaven. Haven't tasted them or tried them. And let's see, I got a big old beet that came up as a volunteer. Ooh, look at that, 2 of them. So I've got a beet in my strawberries. These I just recently replanted with more of the onion seeds. That may be a exercise in futility, but we'll see. These cherries, the red ones, were just superb this year. They are so sweet, so good. It's like nature's candy. And there's a ton of them up there. The orange ones are always pretty good. These are sun sugar. So far so good. Those are delicious, but the red ones really took the cake. See, this is when I would recommend picking the tomatoes, right around this stage, and put them on the counter. In 2 or 3 days they'll be completely ripe. This one's ready to be picked, and it lets the, it takes the stress off the plant a little bit, and it's just a good thing to pick them early. And from what I'm told, I've never actually tried the difference, but taste is supposed to be same, no difference. Well, that's the walk through the high tunnel. And see, did I say the date? September 25th, 2024. And hopefully like last year, I'll get some tomatoes going into November or maybe even December. We'll see. All right, everybody. Much love and many blessings. Doc out.